The rise and fall of Benozir Ahmed. Benozir Ahmed, once a celebrated name in Bangladesh, experienced a dramatic fall from grace. His journey from a revered police officer to a figure mired in controversy is both compelling and cautionary. He was a highly decorated police officer, earning numerous accolades for his service. His dedication and commitment to law enforcement were widely recognized. He climbed the ranks to become the chief of the Bangladesh Police, a position that symbolized his hard work and perseverance. His rise was seen as a beacon of hope for many aspiring officers. However, his career ended under a cloud of corruption allegations. These allegations were not just whispers but loud accusations that shook the very foundation of the police force. These allegations tarnished his legacy, casting a long shadow over his previous achievements. The once shining badge of honor now seemed tainted and discolored. They also raised serious questions about abuse of power in Bangladesh. The public outcry was significant, with many demanding transparency and accountability from those in power. Ahmed's story is a cautionary tale. It serves as a reminder of how quickly one can fall from grace and how power, if unchecked, can lead to one's downfall. It highlights the dangers of unchecked authority. When power is concentrated in the hands of a few, it can lead to corruption and misuse. It also shows how corruption can erode public trust. The faith that people place in their leaders and institutions can be easily shattered by acts of dishonesty and corruption. This essay delves into the life and career of Benozir Ahmed. It seeks to understand the man behind the uniform and the events that led to his rise and eventual fall. It examines the charges against him. These charges were not just about financial misconduct, but also about the abuse of power and authority. It also analyzes the factors that contributed to his alleged downfall. From internal politics to external pressures, many elements played a role in his story. This is a story about power. Power that can build and power that can destroy. It is about how power can corrupt even the most accomplished individuals. The allure of power can sometimes lead even the best of us astray. It is also about the fight against impunity. The struggle to hold those in power accountable is ongoing and crucial for any society. This fight is crucial for building a just and equitable society in Bangladesh. A society where justice prevails and corruption is not tolerated. This essay aims to provide a clear and concise account of the Benozir Ahmed scandal. It will lay out the timeline of events and the key moments that defined his career. It will explore the complexities of corruption. Corruption is not always straightforward. It is often a web of deceit and manipulation. It will also discuss the broader implications for Bangladesh. The impact of such scandals goes beyond individuals and affects the entire nation. This is a story that demands attention. It is a story that needs to be told and understood. It is a story that demands accountability. Without accountability, there can be no justice. And without justice, there can be no trust. Benozir Ahmed's early life was marked by ambition and academic excellence. From a young age, he demonstrated a keen intellect and a drive to succeed that set him apart from his peers. He excelled in his studies, consistently ranking at the top of his class. His dedication to his education was unwavering, and he was often seen burning the midnight oil, engrossed in his books. In 1988, Ahmed made a pivotal decision that would shape the rest of his life. He joined the Bangladesh Police Service, a move that marked the beginning of a long and distinguished career in law enforcement. This decision set him on a path to a seemingly illustrious career. His early years in the police force were characterized by a rapid ascent through the ranks, thanks to his hard work and determination. Ahmed quickly rose through the ranks, earning promotions at a pace that was the envy of his colleagues. His superiors took note of his capabilities and entrusted him with increasingly important responsibilities. He earned a reputation for being a capable and efficient officer. His ability to handle complex cases and his knack for leadership did not go unnoticed. Over the years, he held various important positions within the police force. Each role he took on was a testament to his growing influence and the trust placed in him by his superiors. His dedication and hard work were evident to his superiors, who often praised him for his commitment to duty and his unwavering integrity. In 2015, Benozir Ahmed reached the pinnacle of his career. After years of relentless effort and dedication, he achieved the highest rank within the Bangladesh Police Service. He was appointed as the Inspector General of Police, a position that symbolized his years of service and his perceived integrity. This appointment was a crowning achievement in his career. This was a testament to his years of service and his perceived integrity. As the Inspector General, he was seen as a symbol of dedication and commitment to the principles of law and order. As Inspector General of Police, Ahmed commanded the entire police force of Bangladesh. His role was crucial in shaping the policies and strategies of the law enforcement agencies under his command. He held immense power and influence over law enforcement. His decisions had far-reaching implications, affecting the lives of countless citizens and the overall security of the nation. Ahmed's appointment as Inspector General of Police was met with optimism by some. Many believed that his leadership would bring about positive changes and strengthen the police force. They saw him as a strong leader, capable of steering the police force towards greater efficiency and effectiveness. His confidence and experience inspired trust among his colleagues and the public. They believed he could tackle crime and maintain law and order. His track record suggested that he had the skills and determination to address the challenges facing the police force. Little did they know that behind this facade of success, a darker side was lurking. Beneath the surface of his illustrious career, there were secrets that would soon be revealed. This darker side would soon come to light. Allegations of corruption and misconduct began to surface, casting a shadow over Ahmed's achievements. It would shock the nation. The revelations of corruption within the police force were met with widespread disbelief and outrage, shaking the public's trust in law enforcement. As Benozir Ahmed consolidated his power, whispers of corruption began to surface. There were allegations of bribery and extortion within the police force. Some accused Ahmed of turning a blind eye to these activities. The allegations against Ahmed went beyond simple corruption. He was accused of using his position for personal gain. He was also accused of silencing critics and suppressing dissent. These accusations painted a picture of a man who was willing to abuse his power. Human rights groups raised concerns about extrajudicial killings and enforced disappearances. These incidents happened under Ahmed's watch. While it was difficult to directly link him to these crimes, his silence and inaction were deafening. They fueled suspicions of his complicity. Despite these growing concerns, Benozir Ahmed remained in his position. He enjoyed the support of the government. The government seemed reluctant to take action against one of its own. This inaction only emboldened Ahmed. It also created a climate of impunity. This climate allowed corruption to flourish. Section 4. A culture of impunity, examining the systemic factors. To understand how Benozir Ahmed was able to operate with such impunity, it is essential to examine the systemic factors at play. These factors are deeply rooted in the political and social fabric of Bangladesh, creating an environment where corruption can flourish unchecked. Bangladesh has a long history of corruption. This history is not just a series of isolated incidents but a pervasive issue that has infiltrated various levels of society and government. It is a problem that has plagued governments and institutions for decades. The impact of this corruption is far-reaching, affecting everything from economic development to social justice. A lack of transparency and accountability within the government created an environment where corruption could thrive. When government actions are shrouded in secrecy, it becomes easier for corrupt practices to go unnoticed and unchallenged. Weak institutions and a lack of independence of the judiciary also contributed to the problem. The judiciary, which is supposed to act as a check on the other branches of government, often finds itself compromised and unable to perform its duties effectively. This allowed individuals like Ahmed to operate above the law. When those tasked with upholding the law are themselves corrupt, it creates a vicious cycle that is difficult to break. Furthermore, there was a culture of fear and self-censorship in Bangladesh. This culture is perpetuated by the knowledge that speaking out against corruption can have severe consequences. This prevented people from speaking out against those in power. The suppression of dissent is a powerful tool used by corrupt officials to maintain their grip on power. Journalists and activists who dared to criticize the government or the police faced intimidation. They even faced violence. This intimidation is not just a threat but a reality that many have had to endure. This toxic mix of corruption, weak institutions, and fear allowed Benozir Ahmed to consolidate his power. By exploiting these systemic weaknesses, he was able to rise to a position of significant influence and control. It also allowed him to silence his critics. Those who might have challenged his actions found themselves marginalized or worse. It was only a matter of time before the weight of his alleged crimes would become too heavy to bear. The accumulation of these actions created a tipping point that could no longer be ignored. The international community, would soon force Bangladesh to confront the rot within its system. External pressure often plays a crucial role in prompting internal reforms, especially when the internal mechanisms have failed to address the issues. Global awareness and international anti-corruption efforts have increasingly spotlighted countries like Bangladesh. These efforts aim to hold corrupt officials accountable and support local movements for transparency and justice. Reform initiatives and anti-corruption legislation are essential steps in combating this pervasive issue. However, these measures require genuine commitment and enforcement to be effective. Civil society also plays a critical role in this fight. Grassroots movements and local organizations often lead the charge in demanding accountability and transparency. While the road to eradicating corruption is long and challenging, there is hope for change. With sustained effort and international support, it is possible to build a more just and transparent system in Bangladesh. Section 5. The Sanction Hammer Falls, International Repercussions. The year 2021 marked a turning point in the Benozir Ahmed saga. The United States government, under the Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act, imposed sanctions on Ahmed. These sanctions were for his alleged involvement in serious human rights abuses. The sanctions sent shockwaves through Bangladesh. They put a spotlight on the country's human rights record. The sanctions also put pressure on the government to take action against Ahmed. The United Kingdom followed suit. They imposed their own set of sanctions on Ahmed. This further isolated him on the international stage. The sanctions were a clear message that the international community was no longer willing to tolerate Ahmed's alleged actions. These sanctions had tangible consequences. They restricted Ahmed's travel. They also froze any assets he may have held abroad. The sanctions also tarnished his reputation. They made it clear that he was no longer a welcome figure on the world stage. The net was closing in.